Hey everyone, welcome to the Idiomatic Top 3.
With Nicholas, I am the gaming correspondent for Idiomatic.
And I am Dimitri, editor-in-chief of Idiomatic and movie critic.
All right.
And what are we talking about today, Nick?
Well, when you think about your favorite show or your favorite movie, you always think it's on DVD, because everything has to be on DVD. But that's not always the case. Sometimes you're looking for something, you remember watching this, and it's great, and you find, it's like, this is not on DVD. What's wrong with the world? You know, come on, this has to be on DVD, but you can't find it. It's not there.
No, I agree. It's funny, like, I didn't grow up with DVD, neither did you.
Yeah.
DVDs came out around in the 90s, and we were not adults, but we were pretty old, like, conscious of the world and the media.
Yeah.
And it's like, oh, I don't know if I really believe in this DVD thing. And now, 15 years later, it's like, I can't imagine something not already existing on DVD.
Yeah, and it wasn't that way with VCR tapes, because I guess they were bulky or, not very common. So not everything was on VCR, but DVDs, it's insane. You think of something and you check, hey, it's on DVD. Yeah. But there are a few exceptions that aren't there.
Yeah, absolutely. And that's what we're going to talk in an episode we are calling, I Can't Believe This Ain't on DVD. When I write the title on the episode thing, I might actually use proper grammar. I tend to do that.
You're boring.
I know, I don't take chances. All right, so we are each going to list our top 3 picks for things that we can't believe aren't on DVD. Let's start our countdown proper. Why don't you get us started?
Well, my number 3 is The Soup. It's a show on A&E. It makes fun of other shows. Basically, the reason why people watch reality shows is to see the dumb things that happen, and basically The Soup just summarizes it all, and you get to see it in half an hour instead of spending, untold hours just watching all the reality crap. You just get the good stuff in half an hour, and it's pretty funny, and it's not available on DVD. I don't understand why.
That's an interesting pick for me, because for me that's a little bit like The Daily Show, whereas like, why would you want that on DVD? Because it's so tied to current events. I mean, it's current entertainment events as opposed to current events in politics and news with The Daily Show. But it's one of those things like, if you rewatch it, which is the point of getting it on home video, are you going to really get the references anymore in a couple of years?
That's how I got hooked. My friend showed me a couple of old episodes, and they were like maybe a year old, because that's what he had on his TiVo. And I still laughed. They were a year old. Maybe they were not 5 or 6 years old. But, I still laughed. And the main thing is, as well, I don't get A&E at home. So, sometimes I can catch them at other people's houses, or other times I need to kind of wait and hope that I can find some clips on the web, posted legally, of course. So that's kind of annoying to me. So if they release the DVDs in a timely fashion, like after a year you get the DVD, I could watch it. It'd still be current, and that would satisfy me.
It is funny enough to have replay value just in terms of the humor. I will say that.
Yeah.
It's a sort of funny that I wouldn't mind watching it again with a bunch of friends and laughing at the same joke,
Yeah.
And Joel McHale is really good in that.
Indeed.
He's the host. He's, for those who don't recognize the name, he is Jeff on Community. Yeah. Oh, wait a minute. Community has a rating of about 5 people. That didn't help anybody, did it?
I know, they keep asking him, why aren't you quitting The Soup now? He had this show Community, because he wants to have job security.
All right, my number 3 pick for things I can't believe are not on DVD yet. The Practice. Now, I know what you're going to say. I'm sorry, Dimitri, but The Practice is on DVD. Yeah, Season 1 is on DVD. The thing went on for like 8 seasons, and the best season for me, the one I would purchase, is the last one.
Okay.
Because that's the one where they introduced Alan Shore from Boston Legal. And Denny Crane as well is introduced in that season.
Okay.
It's a terrific season, and it's way better than the show Boston Legal, which is on DVD. Go figure. And because he's taken seriously as a character, it's not as bombastically like we're trying to be funny as Boston Legal. He's a very funny guy in a very serious universe, which makes him doubly funny, if you know what I mean. Because everybody at The Practice, they're like gruff and gritty characters, and you have this sort of lighthearted, sardonic guy who just like messes with everyone just for the sake of doing it.
Okay.
It's even funnier than when you have this crazy guy in a crazy universe. Because they react to him,
Why do they only have season 1? Is it because it didn't sell well, and then they decided that's it?
I'm guessing that's what happened, although I think the David Kelly production shows tend to be a little bit severe on their barometer for what constitutes a DVD success.
Okay.
Because they have a lot of DVD shows like Picket Fences, where there's only season 1 on DVD and they didn't continue because, sales are not high enough. But a lot of the time it's because people want to wait until you get more sets out
Yeah.
to go, oh yeah, I remember that show. Yeah, I want to get that. As opposed to like, just this one lonely season 1, you're kind of like, it ends on a cliffhanger anyway. Do I really want to get that until I know I can get the other seasons?
Yeah, or when you want to buy the box sets of the whole thing, you know?
Yeah.
It's cheaper.
It is cheaper, that's true. And I do find that there's an advantage of having the entire series on DVD, where it takes up the entire Best Buy shelf, like just your series. It's way easier to go like, oh right, Picket Fences. I suppose it's just one Picket Fence or practice DVD amongst all the others. It's
Maybe
sort of like
put sideways, so you only see like a small slice of it too.
Yeah. You sort of have to be looking for the practice to find it at that point.
Yeah, exactly.
So maybe it's a mistake. And the thing is, okay, maybe if they don't sell enough, that might be an issue. Then do print on demand. That's what they did for 10 Things I Hate About You. Not the movie, but the excellent Disney ABC family show. They did season 1, like wide release. Not a great sale.
Okay.
So the second one was print on demand. You go on their website, you order it, you print your DVD, they ship it to you, and that's it.
Nice.
Yeah.
That seems efficient.
All right, anyway, what is your number 2 pick for You Can't Believe It's Not on DVD?
Series from VH1 called Pop-Up Video. Basically shows video clip of music video clips, and people do research on how the clips were made, on the artists, or just random stuff in general, and they pop up while the clip is playing. So while you're listening to music, you're reading up all sorts of interesting information about the artist, the video, or random trivia. And it's great. They came out with one DVD, like the 80s special. But then that's it. It was like they did hundreds of those. There are hundreds of pop-up video clips. Put them on a DVD and let us watch them. The demand was so high that the series has come back. After a hiatus of I don't know how many years, it's back this year. They started making new pop-up videos, so the demand is there. You should release them on DVD.
I agree. That's definitely something that I would buy. It's nice, light entertainment to watch. Like. There's nothing on TV. What do I watch? Pop-up video is ideal for that. You just pop in the DVD and that's what you do. You get a little retro moment. It's awesome. Yeah. What I believe would probably be the issue, though, in terms of industry, is that you need to secure the right to every single video.
I guess.
And that's probably what's holding up that DVD production, in fact.
Darn. Well, they got the rights to do the show, but they need like other separate rights to do the DVD as well.
Yes, and broadcast rights are way easier to get than DVD rights. For the simple reason that you broadcast it like once,
Yeah.
Having said that, it's not impossible, because if you remember the show Mystery Science Theater, where they take, old movies and whatnot and sort of comment on them.
Yeah.
That's out on DVD, and that would have also required them to get the rights to the movie, which presumably is a little bit more expensive than a song, although pop-up video, of course, has many songs, so it probably comes up to a little bit more expensive, so I don't know.
But those videos now are available for the artists put them on YouTube. There's VO or whatever it's called. A lot of them, I'm not saying all of them, but huge amounts of them on there, so they're available on YouTube. I wonder... you'd think more exposition for an artist would be a good thing, and they'd be perfectly happy and kind of be cool about it. I guess it's the not the artists themselves, but the
production company, the recording companies.
Yeah.
I think so. My thing about that is that they are wonderfully inconsistent about that. They put it on YouTube for everyone to see.
Yeah.
If you dare copy it from YouTube and try to redistribute the video with their link and everything, they're like, copyright infringement. And then you realize that the purpose of a music video is to advertise your song. Yeah. So whoever steals it is stealing a commercial from you in the purpose of distributing it. They're doing half the work for you. Even if they are doing it illegally, just look the other way,
Yeah.
But at the same time, when it comes to actual printing things like a DVD and whatnot, they can't look the other way because it exists. And the way that entertainment law is designed is you see the potential for someone stealing from you or someone is stealing from you, you have to sue them. Because if you don't, the next person who steals from you and you're not okay with that, if you try to sue them, they can turn around and go like, well, you knew about the other guy and you didn't sue him, so you can't sue me, and actually can get away with that.
Okay.
So some rights have to be secured.
Okay.
Having said that, why not just give the rights for cheap?
Yeah.
I mean, I understand like that there's a certain issue with borrowing a song to create another art form. Like the Dawson's Creek DVDs is a great example of that. If you listen to it, the songs are not the same as in the original broadcast.
Okay.
Because they couldn't secure the rights to it. So they had to replace the songs with cheaper songs.
Oh, that's interesting. Does it change the series a lot? Or just not notice it at all?
It depends on the shows. Like in Dawson's Creek, I remember some iconic moments of Dawson's Creek where the song helped propel the moment a lot. And
Okay.
you watch it and you're like, that's not the same song, and the effect is not quite as moving. But a show like Wonder Falls, for example, where the music is sort of accessory at best, it's all about Caroline Davernas's performance.
Yeah.
It's like they change all the songs, and to tell you the truth, it's like, I mean, you sense the budget. You sense that these are lower produced songs, but I don't care.
Yeah. Okay. All right. So what is your number 2?
My number 2 pick is a horror series. You might guess that I would include one in there.
You have to.
Yeah, and it's Nightmare on Elm Street, the TV series called Freddy's Nightmares, in fact. It's a short-lived television series from the early 90s, back when Freddy was all the rage. He even had a rap song with Run DMC, for heaven's sakes.
Wow. Don't even remember any of that.
And he had a TV show which was extremely violent, kind of like Friday the 13th, the TV show, if anyone's seen that. It actually has more reruns than Freddy's Nightmares. It's extremely violent and actually had to be aired like around 11 or midnight. The concept of it is Freddy's the host and he tells you short stories a la Twilight Zone.
Okay.
And some of the stories involve him and play into the canon of the Nightmare on Elm Street universe, and some of them are just stories that Freddy tell you that are vaguely dream related but are mostly just horror stories.
Okay.
It's a fun series. It's creepy. It was really violent and disgusting, and the few episodes out there that would deal with Freddy's mythology was actually interesting. They were like the long talked about prequel where Freddy is just this like serial killer and not a supernatural being. Well, that story actually exists in television form. You just can't see it because it's not on DVD.
How many episodes of that came out roughly?
2 seasons, so I'm guessing about 40 episodes.
2 seasons, that's a lot.
Yeah. 40 episodes. I'd say one set, you're good to go.
Yeah. It's not like it was like just canceled after 12 shows and then there's no point in there. But like 2 seasons, that's a lot. It really warrants it.
I find so. Yeah.
You think it's maybe because horror has this kind of it's just a niche thing that there are not that many horror fans and they're not going to buy it, or why do you think they don't want to release it?
That's a possibility.
Okay.
Although if that's what's going on, they're fools, because even though horror is more of a cult following,
yeah,
we are DVD buyers, us horror fans.
Yeah, like, I can see that.
It's like that's Full Moon Entertainment's entire model is like, we are cornering the horror market with our cheapo straight-to-video horror movies with budgets of 25 cents. Why? Because horror fans will buy it anyway. We like our DVDs. But I think the real issue is probably more that the show was somewhat kind of a flop at the time, because it was at the height of Freddy's popularity, which is to say just right about when people were getting sick of it.
I see.
And I think the TV show might have pushed it over the edge, to be perfectly blunt. But it's hard to measure the success of a show like that because it's playing at 11 p.m. at night.
Yeah.
You're not going to get much of an audience, and it's horror and it's fiction. I mean, like, even, those big talk shows like David Letterman and Jay Leno and all of that, their ratings don't compare to primetime ratings. They just don't.
No.
Like, that's why when Jay Leno moved to 10 o'clock, I was like, come on now.
Yeah.
All right, what is your number 1 pick for a show that you can't believe is not on DVD yet?
It's a show from Discovery Channel. It's called It Takes a Thief. And it's basically 2 former robbers. They offer somebody a full security makeover if they're allowed to, make a pretend robbing of their place first. So one guy is basically in a van with the family showing them what's happening, while another guy is just destroying everything and stealing stuff. And it's really fun to see. Well, fun. It's interesting to see how robbers work, how they can enter the house, and every different tactics they have. The first season was pretty straightforward. They were just doing houses, but the second season they really expanded. They did businesses. They robbed a police station. They said they were going to rob the house of a person later, but they did it when the person was still in the house without her knowing.
Oh, that's awesome.
The best part for me was when they were robbing the house and the guy came back in and it was like, oh man, he's in trouble. But the guy was just hiding behind the curtain. He kind of like a Looney Tunes cartoon. And the guy, he had bad eyes, so he didn't see it. And the daughter of the guy with bad eyes, she was freaking out. I was like, I can't believe this is happening. If this was a real robber, my father would be dead. And it was like really insane to see just how it can happen like that. And it's a really interesting show. It's just not on DVD, and I wonder why.
Yeah, reality TV shows are easy to put on DVD for the same reason anything low budget is, really.
And Discovery has like most of them on DVD, like Dangerous Catch and stuff like that. They're all on DVD, so this would be great.
Yeah. How many seasons did it get?
It had 2 seasons.
2 seasons. It seems 2 seasons is not encouraging for DVD sales, is it?
I know. There are shows that only had like half of one season that are on DVDs. Like one that you mentioned earlier that I love, like Wonder Falls. What was that? 6 episodes were on there?
4.
4
on air.
And it still got DVD release. So come on, 2 seasons. It can't be that bad.
Yeah, I agree. I mean, granted, like, there's the short shows that get a DVD release. There's the stuff like Firefly and Wonder Falls, where the cult following was so intense. There was like, bring us Wonder Falls!
Yeah.
And let's not even begin to talk about Joss Whedon fans. Look, don't take this the wrong way, because I know a lot of you are Joss Whedon fans, listeners, but you guys are crazy. Yeah. You're crazy.
Whedonites.
Whedonites. Is that what they
I don't know. I'm trying to find a name for them. Whedonites or Weenies. I like Weenies. So 2 seasons, like, not intense enough. Yeah. So you get nothing.
Exactly. It's because it went long enough for a large section of the fans going like, hey, we got 2 seasons.
Yeah, I guess so. So with that, what is your number 1?
My number 1 did not run for only 2 seasons. It in fact ran for 9 so far, and it's still going.
Okay.
And it is a show that I absolutely adore. It's a reality show called So You Think You Can Dance.
Okay.
For those of you who don't know, it's essentially American Idol, but for dancers. And with less glam and the celebrity thing and more focus on the art of dance.
Of course. Yeah.
And I like the show for specifically that reason. It's a reality competition show, but most of all, it's sort of a celebration of all styles of dance, and the auditions are much more about like, hey, did you know that this style of dance existed? No? Check it out. He's pretty awesome. You look at it and go like, I can't believe people can do that with their bodies. It's amazing.
Yeah. I like the audition part of the show. When they go into the competition and it's like the best dancing and like every dance is like you're trying to have sex with your partner on stage and it all looks the same. I'm not too fond of that really. But the audition part where you get to see all these different things, I really like.
Yeah, no, it is the strongest part of the show. I agree. I have a less negative reaction to the competition part. Yeah. I don't get the sex thing. I mean, for some choreographies, you get the sex thing where you're like, yeah. But a lot of it, like for the ballroom things, obviously it's going to be very sex oriented and whatnot, but I tend to forgive it because that's what Latin ballroom is supposed to be about.
Okay.
Tango is all about sexual passion and all of that. If that's what's conveyed, that's what the dance is about. But like the contemporary stuff, like I've seen a few episodes with you where you're looking at the contemporary stuff, it's like all they're doing is rubbing each other. God. And I actually see something else when I watch that, where, yes, they are rubbing each other, I can't deny that, but there's sort of another emotion being conveyed, and sometimes I'm actually genuinely touched.
Okay.
And I actually want to see those numbers again, because they're good, and it's one of those things, kind of like pop-up video, where it's like, you can put that at a party, you don't really need to follow it. And unlike American Idol, like I would never buy an American Idol DVD because that one is all about who will win the competition. Whereas So You Think You Can Dance is more focused on, it's like, here's a pretty dance number.
It's weird because there's so many reality shows that are focused on who will win that are on DVD,
That's true.
like The Amazing Race or Survivor or even Big Brother.
Yeah.
I was thinking maybe it's not on DVD because it's a summer show, so nobody cares. But Big Brother is on DVD, and that is the most boring show ever.
Especially to watch in rerun.
Yeah,
Because the whole appeal of Big Brother is to see what is he going to do now,
Yeah.
and is he going to get away with it? Once you know that, who cares?
exactly. I mean, it's basically 10 minutes of that and 15 minutes of filler.
It's true.
Maybe if they just put the 10 minutes, and no, that wouldn't work because you know what's happened, you know? Is American Idol on DVD?
I don't know. I don't
Okay.
believe it is, and I think it's for the same reason that So We Think You Can Dance hasn't been on DVD yet. Song rights.
Oh, I could see that.
Yeah, I think that's the big issue.
Yeah.
Oh, and before people bring it up, yes, I know that if you type So You Think You Can Dance on Amazon or any DVD or retail store, you will find a DVD coming up. But that's an exercise video with some of the contestants. And
Yes.
that's not really what I want.
You're kind of disappointed if you buy that. You're
Exactly.
expecting-
Because I am not so delusional that I think I can achieve what these athletes / artists, whatever, have achieved. No, I watched So You Think You Can Dance, flopped on my couch with my belly out, eating potato chips, okay? Let's get this straight.
If you believe Dimitri, you can do it. That's about it.
I want to name a couple of runner-ups, if you will.
All right, go ahead.
First, I want to mention the Kim Possible DVDs. The series Kim Possible, that's a Disney series cartoon that has a nice mix of adult humor with sort of a geek undertone and stuff for kids at the same time. And the reason why it's in the runner-up is because the DVDs actually do exist. But the thing is, you can only get it as part of the Disney Club.
Okay.
Where you sort of subscribe and you got to buy something like 25 DVDs in 2 years or something like that
That's
at
insane.
ridiculous prices.
Could you buy like 25 Kim Possible DVDs and like resell them?
I guess you could. Now you've solved my problem because I've been hesitant about joining the Disney Club because I really want season 1 and 2 of Disney's Kim Possible. Actually, I want 3 and 4 as well. But
Yeah.
they only have the first 2 seasons available right now.
Oh.
But anyway,
That's what eBay's for, my friend.
it's true. That is true. Another one that I want to mention is the entire work of Sabu. Sabu is a Japanese director, terrific director. He did The Blessing Bell, which is my favorite movie of his, about a man who loses his job and then goes for a walk. That's the entire movie.
Wow.
And he makes these beautiful comedies that are very human character pieces. I've only seen his movies through various festivals like Fantasia and whatnot, and they're beautiful.
Okay.
And the thing about it is, the DVDs are available in Europe, but not in North America. And it's really too bad because I desperately want to get my hands on some of his amazing movies.
Yeah, this whole zone thing of certain DVDs only work one place and another, that needs to go so that, you know, things become more widely available. I know it's for price fixing and stuff like that, but it's still ridiculous.
And the third runner-up, just because I like to add 3 to everything,
Of course.
Galandahar. Now,
What?
Galandahar, or as American viewers will know it, Light Years, is an animated film based on an Isaac Asimov story.
Okay.
It's beautiful. It was animated by a French company. Actually, it's a French film. In English, it was translated Light Years and re-edited a bit. Again, it's available in France on DVD, naturally, but not in North America.
Again, they need to stop doing that. But do those work on computers, though?
Well, you gotta set your computer to only take one region.
Oh, it's ridiculous.
And you can't switch back and forth between regions. Having spent some time in Europe, I have a couple of, I have Galandahar, the European DVD, in fact.
Okay.
I have one laptop that's set to play European DVDs, you know?
Yeah, but it's not as fun as watching on a small screen as this, you know, giant TV.
Yeah,
Because
absolutely.
you can do the whole hookup, but that takes a ton of time.
Well, you hook it up once, you're good to go after, but it's sort of like I resent having to switch between machines. I kind of want to put my DVD collection all in one spot, not like, oh, honey, do you feel like watching a comedy today? Sure. look at our comedy section, because I have a lot of DVDs, folks. And then, are you done looking at the comedy section? Yeah. Look at our European comedy section. No. You know?
Your number 2 just made me think of another show that might not be on DVD that I used to watch because it was late at night. Mortal Kombat Annihilation.
Oh, yeah.
I'm not sure if it's on DVD or not, but it was very successful. It was just one season, and they didn't do a second one because it was too expensive to make. Not because people didn't watch it.
It was expensive,
yeah,
but it was expensive for a syndication show. Because Mortal Kombat followed the model of Hercules and Xena, where they went like, we're not going to compete with the network shows. We're just going to make a cheapo adventure show that'll pass on Saturday afternoon or whatever.
Yeah.
Straight for syndication. Straight for syndication means that the affiliates, not the main networks, buy them. And they'll air it whenever they have a free time slot. You know, outside of prime time.
I think it played here on Saturday at midnight. That's when I watched it.
There you go. And it's mad money because it's each affiliate that buys it. It's not the network that pays for it to be broadcast amongst all of its affiliates. So
yeah.
Their margin for profit is smaller because they pay less, but there's a lot more people buying it. So it's a good business model, but you got to make your show for cheap.
Yeah.
So figuring that they must have made the show for cheap, I can't imagine it being particularly expensive in terms of music rights, imagery rights, or whatnot. Like, I guess they'd have to pay Boone and Netherworld Productions for the rights for Mortal Kombat, but like these guys are money whores. They're just gonna say yes right away.
I mean, it's just extra publicity for the game. They'd be perfectly happy with that.
I agree. Yeah.
I just don't know if it's on DVD or not. After we're done with this podcast, I'm checking this out.
Yeah. The Rumor Sesh podcast. We do our homework after the recording.
I didn't know you were going to be talking. Well, I should have known you were going to talk about So You Think You Could Dance, but it came out, from there.
Talking about coming out, Adam Shankman. No, I'm coming. If you have comments about some of the DVDs you would like to see.
Indeed, we're curious about that.
Absolutely. Write us at mail@idiomanic.com or post a comment right below the episode at idiomanic.com.
Yep. See you next week. Community, because he wants to have job security.
All right, my number 3 pick for things I can't believe are not on DVD yet. The Practice. Now, I know what you're going to say. I'm sorry, Dimitri, but The Practice is on DVD. Yeah, season 1 is on DVD. The thing went on for like 8 seasons, and the best season for me, the one I would purchase, is the last one.
Okay.
Because that's the one where they introduced Alan Shore from Boston Legal. And Denny Crane as well is introduced in that season.
Okay.
It's a terrific season. It's way better than the show Boston Legal, which is on DVD. Go figure. And because he's taken seriously as a character, it's not as bombastically like we're trying to be funny as Boston Legal. He's a very funny guy in a very serious universe, which makes him doubly funny, if you know what I mean. Because everybody at The Practice, they're like gruff and gritty characters, and you have this sort of light.
Basically, the reason why people watch reality shows is to see the dumb things that happen, and basically the soup just summarizes it all, and you get to see it in half an hour instead of spending, untold hours just watching all the reality crap. You just get the good stuff in half an hour, and it's pretty funny, and it's not available on DVD. I don't understand why.
That's an interesting pick for me, because for me that's a little bit like The Daily Show, whereas like, why would you want that on DVD? Because it's so tied to current events. I mean, it's current entertainment events as opposed to current events in politics and news with The Daily Show. But it's one of those things like, if you rewatch it, which is the point of getting it on home video, are you going to really get the references anymore in a couple of years?
That's how I got hooked. My friend showed me a couple of old episodes, and they were like maybe a year old, because that's what he had on his TiVo. And I still laughed. They were a year old. Maybe they were not 5 or 6 years old. But, I still laughed. And the main thing is, as well, I don't get A&E at home. So, sometimes I can catch them at other people's houses, or other times I need to kind of wait and hope that I can find some clips on the web, posted legally, of course. So that's kind of annoying to me. So if they release the DVDs in a timely fashion, like after a year you had the DVD, I could watch it, it'd still be current, and that would satisfy me.
It is funny enough to have replay value just in terms of the humor. I will say that.
Yeah.
It's like it's a sort of funny that I wouldn't mind watching it again with a bunch of friends and laughing at the same joke, you know?
Yeah.
And Joel McHale is really good in that.
Indeed.
He's the host. He's for those who don't recognize the name, he is Jeff on Community.
Yeah.
Oh, wait a minute. Community has a rating of about 5 people. That didn't help anybody, did it?
I know they keep asking him, "Why aren't you quitting the soup now? He had this show."
2, 3.
Hey everyone, welcome to the Idiomatic Top 3.
With Nicholas, I am the gaming correspondent for Idiomatic.
And I am Dimitri, editor-in-chief of Idiomatic and movie critic.
All right.
And what are we talking about today, Nick?
Well, when you think about your favorite show or your favorite movie, you always think it's on DVD because everything has to be on DVD. But that's not always the case. Sometimes you're looking for something, you remember watching this and it's great, and you find it's like, this is not on DVD. What's wrong with the world? You know, come on, this has to be on DVD, but you can't find it. It's not there.
No, I agree. It's funny, like, I didn't grow up with DVD, neither did you.
Yeah.
DVDs came out around in the 90s, and we were not adults, but we were pretty old, like, conscious of the world and the media.
Yeah.
And it's like, oh, I don't know if I really believe in this DVD thing. And now, 15 years later, it's like, I can't imagine something not already existing on DVD.
Yeah, and it wasn't that way with VCR tapes, because I guess they were bulky or, not very common. So not everything was on VCR, but DVDs, it's insane. You think of something and you check, hey, it's on DVD. Yeah. But there are a few exceptions that aren't there.
Yeah, absolutely. And that's what we're going to talk in an episode we are calling, I Can't Believe This Ain't on DVD. When I write the title on the episode thing, I might actually use proper grammar. I tend to do that.
You're boring.
I know, I don't take chances. All right, so we are each going to list our top 3 picks for things that we can't believe aren't on DVD. Let's start our countdown proper. Why don't you get us started?
Well, my number 3 is The Soup. It's a show on A&E. It makes fun of other shows based